land. Yeah, we can do that. Play a land, still have mana up for this. Right? Yes. So what do we have to get white then if we let the auto tapper decide? And I'm okay with that. Ooh, you and your perfect blizzard balls. Yeah! Yeah, and I so recorded that. Hey, what's up? What's going on? My name's Kyle. Thank you all for stopping by to check out my video on my channel, Arena Hacks. Today I'm looking at Naya counters. This is kind of like a little bit of an upgrade from my Selesnya counter deck. I did a video on that. Selesnya counters was a while ago. More recently, I did one where I took my Selesnya +1 counters deck and I put it into alchemy, and I had the Tenacious Wolf, and I also added Helana, which then made it Naya instead of Selesnya. Did I say Naya before? I can't remember. I've been saying Selesnya the whole time, right? Because that's how it started. It's Naya now, anyways, just because of Helana, adding that red in there. And it's a really, these guys are really awesome in this deck. The first strike, the reach really comes in handy sometimes. And then it's like having another Luminarch Aspirant that's a little higher on mana but has awesome abilities and is kind of a little jacked up. Rather than putting one single +1 counter every turn, it's putting multiple, and it could increase, especially if you're putting counters on Helana, which is what we love to do in this deck, because then they're putting that many more counters. Every counter we're putting on them, their power's higher, and things just spiral out of control like crazy, right? So we may have seen that already a little bit in that alchemy deck version of this deck. I still had it called Selesnya too when I did that. And yeah, this deck is basically, I didn't take that deck to modify it for standard. I went back to my Selesnya deck that I used modified to create the Naya deck I used in alchemy. I started with that Selesnya deck, added the Helana, and I think I just did a few other tweaks here and there. As awesome as Ochre Jelly is, I did reduce one of them just because it's like, there's just so many other awesome things. Like, it's just like, I really would like to have another one in, but I need mana. I need all these other ways of getting counters on it. The only other thing I could see maybe swapping it with is Oran-Rief Ooze. Again, another great way of putting counters on stuff. It's really what we love to do in this deck. This benefits from getting counters, as I just explained, but so does Ochre Jelly. When we're putting counters on this guy like crazy, like, our opponents just have so much trouble dealing with him. We build him up so strong. It's got trample already, so we build him up so strong. Late game, we have the mana. He comes in crazy powerful. Early game, we make sure we play 3 mana or 4 mana to bring him in as a 2/2 or a 3/3. As we add counters, they get more powerful. Our opponent kills them. It comes back with half that power. We build it up again. It dies. It comes back with half that power. And we keep attacking with it because it has trample, and our opponents have to kill it or they just die to it. So it's really a brutal creature when we can just get it ramping out of control, and our opponents, it just annoys our opponents so much, and then ultimately ends the game because they just can't deal with the trample damage all the time. They can't chump block it, right? It's just, get out of here, Ochre Jelly. And we love that when our opponents say, get out of here. But anyways, I think I tweaked the Fateful Absences and the Skyclave Apparitions. I balanced them out. I'm not sure exactly what I had them before. I think I only had 2 Absences and 4 Apparitions. I'm not too sure. The Apparition's really good. Any we're exiling, which is really nice. Any non-token permanent with mana value 4 or less, which is really cool. It does suck that they do get that illusion token out of it, but they do not get their card back, unlike with Brutal Cathar, or there's another creature that does it, Savior of Allenbach or whatever. He's got training, and he trains and he exiles stuff. So, but when those creatures die, anything they've exiled, the player gets all that stuff back. This way, they're just getting a little illusion token. So it's not that big a deal. Fateful Absence is great because it's instant speed, so we're destroying their stuff whenever we want, whenever we need it out of our way, or it can hit planeswalkers, and sometimes planeswalkers can be really hard for us to deal with, especially some big ones that are out of range, are more than 4 mana, so they're out of range of Skyclave Apparition, so that's why I have a balance between the two of them. They do have their situations. they have their situations where one is better than the other, but each one has its situation where it's better than the other, so it's kind of nice to have both of them, right? Luminarch Aspirant, as always, it's a +1 counter deck. I mean, pretty obvious, duh. Professor of Symbology, I remember way back when I had the Selesnya, when I first built the Selesnya deck, I didn't originally have any professors. It's just I wanted to go more crazy with the +1/+1 counter stuff, but then I found with the Sparring Regime, which is really great because every time we attack, we get a counter and untap the creature that we're putting the counter on. So it's like a makeshift vigilant, and when the regime enters the battlefield, we get a learn, and it was that learn that made me put the Professor of Symbologies in the first place. I'm like, I need more learn, but I want it to be creatures because this is a creature-heavy based deck. So like, you know, what do I do to do that? And I'm like, Professor of Symbology gives us more learn, lets us hit the sideboard more, because I've been finding that I was finding originally that it was really critical when we were getting those sparring regimes to hit our sideboard. So I'm like, we need to do that more. Professor of Symbology. Sometimes it ends up because our opponents are so concerned with our Aspirants, our Ochre Jellies, our Lanas, and all this other awesome stuff, Reef Oozes, you know, like, which builds everybody up who already has a counter. And since we're putting counters on with Regime, a level 2 Ranger class, we're throwing counters on with Land, we're throwing counters on with Luminarch Aspirant, like, holy crap, we're throwing counters on with Expand Anatomy, right? We're throwing counters on everywhere. So, so what was I saying? We're building stuff up. That's what we do here. And Professor of Symbology, because they're trying to take down all this other stuff, we end up putting all our counters on it, and it can sometimes get really big. Because once it's in the battlefield, it's served its purpose, and our opponents really just want to handle everything else. Ranger class is already briefly skimmed over. I'll get back to the Sejiri Shelter in a little bit. Just some more protection, 2 mana, protection from color of your choice. Really, I should probably just swap that for planes or something. I don't know. We'll get to that later. Ranger class, as I briefly mentioned, it's that level 2 we're really after. It does give us a creature to work with, though, when we play it. So it's not just playing an enchantment that doesn't really do anything. We are getting a creature along with it. Very powerful stuff. Skyclave talked about. Reef Ooze I've talked about a little bit. Everybody gets a +1 counter when he attacks. Toski's the last one I haven't really went over. Again, you got green in the deck. It's like, and your creature deck, like, and you like attacking too. Like, we get, the only way we put our counters on with Sparring Regime level 2 class and Reef Ooze is if we attack, right? The only free counters we get are Lana and Luminarch Aspirant. So it's like, it has to attack each turn. So that's how we get counters on it. So we get this indestructible creature with amazing card draw, can't be countered, and it grows relatively quickly too. Couple's great with Sparring Regime. We get to untap it too when we do it. So now we have an attacker and a blocker that's indestructible and keeps growing. That can sometimes close out the game alone. Just that combo if they can't deal with it. Other than that, let's get to some stats here. Stats. Thank you. I'm pretty sure I clicked like 22 lands. I didn't want to go less than 24 because we do have an average of 2.5. So, yes, those glaciers, those protection spells that I was mentioning there that are MDFCs, I put them in because I'm like, you know, I want to have more options. I want to have more protection. Let's put these in. I get that. And then, you know, if I'm not getting my lands because I only have 22, I've got a couple extra lands hidden within the rest of the deck. However, it's like the 22 lands are just not good enough anyways. I'm basically just always playing these on the land side, and like, it's so rare I get to hold one for protection. And then sometimes when I do, it's like I end up winning the game without casting it anyways. And it's like, come on. Like, 22 lands, you can't let that just work sometimes. Like, can I just have 22 lands that I just get the lands I need without having to play my shelter just every now and then, please? All the time it's going down as the glacier. But whatever. Maybe you'll have different luck than I do. Quick run over the sideboard though here. Academic Probation really helps you take away a blocker when you need to get that last bit of damage in. Reduced to memory, really good removal if you have white or if you don't have black. Necrotic Fumes is one of my favorite. You know, but this can do any non-land permanent. It does give them that creature, which is annoying, but often we're using this on something that's far better than a 3/2 creature anyways, so we're pretty happy to make that trade. Containment Breach, more removal for their enchantments and artifacts. Expand Anatomy, it's a +1 counter deck, so why not throw some Vigilance in there as well and really hit in with a big guy. Mascot Exhibition, we love creatures in this deck. More creatures, the merrier, and my 2 Envirosciences that I skimmed over because it's just like, that's, you need lands, like, and life, you know, you gain 2 life with it, so, I mean, why would you not have Enviroscience in your sideboard? Land base here is complicated. Field of Ruin, you know, I'm going to let just the gameplay, I'm not going to complain about that too much right now. Let the gameplay handle that. I think I went a little heavier on the Lair of Hydra instead of Cave of the Frost Dragon in this, just because once you start putting +1 counters on it, it's really not that bad. I find this land really clunky because you can't tap Lair of the Hydra for mana. If you want to activate it as a land and use it and be able to block with or anything, you can't use it for mana then either. So plus it costs 1 green and at least 1 for X because it can't be 0. So you're literally playing 3 mana. You're taking 3 mana away just to get a temporary 1/1 creature. Ugh, right? So if you can attack in with it, get some counters from Regime untaps it too, which is nice, and you can still get mana from it. Get counters from Aspirant, Ranger class, Oran-Rief Ooze, whatever. You start putting counters on it. As soon as you get 2 counters on it, you're even money with your mana. 3 mana gets you a 3/3 temporary. So, and it just keeps growing after that. So it's actually really not that bad once we start getting counters on it. It gets cheaper and cheaper to activate a much larger creature. Eventually, at some point, be like, you can do 3 mana for a 4/4, right? Like, nice. Better than Faceless Haven at that point. Except it doesn't have Vigilance. Sparring Regime, right? Anyways, that being all said, I think we should get to some gameplay. I covered all the stats, covered everything. Land-based, like I said, is complicated. Fury Calm Snarl is just a placeholder for an additional Sundown Pass. I like these cards, these new ones, better than the Snarls. I just don't have all the copies at the moment, and I want to wait until I open more packs out of the Mastery before I use more wild cards, simply because I hate getting 20 damn gems in the rare slot of my packs when I open them. So once the season of Innistrad is over, then I will use the wild cards to get more of these lands. But for now, I just use Snarls or whatever I can as placeholders. So that's really what that is all about there. Field of Ruin to handle their creature lands, and just a bunch of craziness to get all our colors. So let's go take a look at some of that gameplay and see how it goes. But before I do that, remember to hit that thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That's really important, really helps. It's completely free, helps you watch more of my stuff. Just do it. Click it right now, right in the bottom corner where I am. It's easy. Please do it. Really handy. Enjoy the games. Goddamn time. Yeah, okay, we do have a land here. Ugh. Second turn we hold up Absence, third turn Jelly. I really don't like that. Wow, this barely looks at all different. Aren't these the exact same 2 lands we had before too? And the Sejiri Shelter. Gotta keep it. It's not... Yeah, more removal, which last game I played was like, what the frig? Where's all my removal? And just because I can't cast it, I don't have the white for it. I have 1 white only. Like, and now I'll get punished, and I won't have enough removal for this game either. Ay, ay, ay. So, I was going to say have to go. Now we get the double white. Like I said, immediately punished. Story of my life, like, seriously. Take a gamble, immediately punished, as usual. No blocks for now. Hopefully we can build up creatures a little faster or something like that. We don't really need the red right now. Green is more important. We can play this it'll always come out untapped at this point. It'll put the counter on itself, I guess. And so will Aspirant. Attack in. They're probably not going to take the block. Hopefully they don't build up pack later. If they do, it'll be post-combat, because they can use the Naturalist to make a 4th mana to play a 4-mana spell. But that would come post-combat, so yeah, they didn't have a good attack there. This is a tap land, but I'm not sure if that matters at this particular moment. Yeah, let's play it. Should play this pre-combat. They can gang block something for, yeah, a lot. But if we play this, we have... this will put a counter for 5. They'd have to block with at least all 3 to get the Aspirant. It's risky, but I kind of want to be aggressive. Oh, but I kind of have to put on... No, 4. Yeah, I should put this one on itself. This will go on itself. They could double block my Reef Ooze, but I'm a little less worried about Reef Ooze because I have a backup. It'd be nice to have 2. They take it all. That's crazy. What? Okay, now they probably... No, they're still not playing a 4-mana spell with this. Coming in with Naturalist. Wolf, we're going to pump something up there. Get a mana. They probably have something for the Wolf. But as far as we know, they only have 1 block, and we got a lot of power, and everybody's going to grow because of... do we have enough for this yet? 5... Dang. We didn't have enough for that. But still. Alright. Not too bad there. Beat Wolves. It is. Come on, I can't have that many tap lands to be every game. Like, this is getting out of hand now. 5. No, 4. 8. Early game, these are untapped in the opening hand, so it's another 3. Like, yeah, we're well over half our lands. Yeah, these are untapped. These are untapped. Well over half the lands are untapped. And that's 2 games in a row now, back to back. At least we're on the play. That we literally get jammed with nothing. 3 of these 6 passes, or what are these types? They don't all have Veil, Pass, Farmland. Man, they don't really have a basic kind of base name to them. Like the Snarls or something like that. Do we have another white? This gets us white. Everything's tapped though, so we don't get to play anything. Ridiculous. After that last game that I just had was just total robbery. We have 2 professors and a sparring regime, so let's just go with Envirosciences just to get that all rolling. Luckily, they haven't played anything either. So here comes some removal, maybe? No? They don't want to kill a professor? What do we get with it? We have 2 white, we have 2 green. I'm not going to get the mountain with it. We really don't need to. We already have 2 red. Wow. What do we get with this? That's a tough call. Yeah, the 2 white, 2 green, 2 red. We don't need more red. What do we have more of? We have 3 forests and 4 plains, so let's go plains. We have more white in hand. That makes sense too. I do not want to play a good creature like this at the moment, simply because I feel like they have removal, spot removal. So I'd rather them take my wolf or my professor rather than the aspirant. They're holding priority on literally everything. And if they don't remove something, if they don't use their spell, they've spent an entire turn literally doing nothing. Which I don't mind, because we're doing stuff. So, I'm still worried. They spent so long without actually playing a spell. Yeah, it's like, kind of scares me what they're going to come out with next. Not too bad, especially because I didn't have any of our really crazy awesome stuff down. I wouldn't mind another mana. Maybe we play this, push up class, or do we play this and push up class? They could probably just play another meat hook if we play this out. It's not going to get big enough fast enough. So the way they've been playing, they probably have nothing but board wipes. Well, no, they held priority our entire last turn. Containment Breach. At some point, we're going to want to play it on their... and we'll push this up. On their meat hook. They can turn on Faceless Haven and attack with it now. They finally shoot down one of our professors. What was that spell? So they had to pay 3 mana for it. Nourish. How does Cleaver... if you do remove the words in square brackets? Yeah, okay. This is a core, not a human. A mana would have been nice there. Another mana. Now we can't do much other than just like shoot like one thing. One thing we get to do. Pretty much whatever it is we do, we'll probably get shot down with removal. Well, we do have Snakeskin, so we can stop the targeted removal. That's actually not bad. Maybe we go Skyclave to get rid of the meat hook. Forcing them to play another one? Sure. So they could just play another board wipe or something too, and then they get their 2/2 token out of it. Or they go with Soren. That's pretty bad as well. 4 mana, which is not too bad. We can hit it with our other Skyclave. I'd rather not. Non-land card from it. 2 or less, that player discards that card. 2 or less? So they can either go for Aspirant or Snakeskin. Let's let them take their pick. So we could have cast Snakeskin just so that they couldn't take it. But their only other option... Or did they cleave that? They may have cleaved that. I didn't really pay attention to that. Whoops. 4 mana, no, they didn't cleave it. And they took Aspirant. That sucks. Now they know about our Snakeskin Veil, but that's still something that they have to worry about. I say we just take Soren, we kind of need to. Yeah, we kind of need to.
Wallow in darkness, then.
Tack on in, because we get that pump up from the Ranger class, because, you know, we needed something to do with our mana early game when we had that sluggish start with all the freaking tap lands. We still only have 1 basic. And I used the... Oh yeah, another board wipe, surprise, surprise. Second one of the game so far. Yes, meat hook, right. What the heck? Really? Come on, game. Seriously? That was annoying. Why would you do that? So we can't block their 4/4, unfortunately. Really can't do much else, actually. At all. We can protect it from their spot removal. That's about the best shot we got. Of course, they take that because their 4/4 can attack through our Helena safely. They can still turn on their Haven for the turn. If they did attack, though, we could block and kill it with Helena, use the Snakeskin Veil, which they might be trying to lure that out of us right now. Either way, they know we have the Snakeskin Veil, so we should just do it. They might be forgetting that Helena have First Strike. So that's why we block that way and do that. Because of their First Strike. That's not bad, neither is this. Can we do both? Yes, we can. And we have no enchantment to target here. Ooh, what do we get here, though? We're probably going to want to exile something. Let's get more removal just in case we need it. Nice. And haste. I forgot about that from Helena. But we only attack in this way because of their Fellstinger's Death Touch. But our First Strike can dodge that. Of course, they block. Keep their health total as high as possible. I shudder to think those 3 cards are there. 2 cards now. Please be bad cards. I mean, I guess my 2 cards are... One's pretty good. The other's good in situations, mediocre. I bet they wish they had it. To shoot down one of our enchantments. Okay, more card advantage. Not a scary card of the 2, but I'm like, I was going to say, they can draw into scary cards, which sucks. Now, yeah, highest mana value. Yeah, that's our Helena. What is it waiting for us to do? Right, that stupid thing. I'm like, what am I... Oh, right, yeah, they just have 2 of them. Right, game, right. Come on. Not the worst thing in the world. We do have one of our creature lands, and we can make it, what, a 4/4, and then we can bump it up with a couple counters. Smash. Oh, we untap it too, so we get it to use it as another land later on. Yeah. Down to 1 card. They have no creature lands, but they do have that Field of Ruin, which is unfortunate. Yeah. What do we want to get to? What did we lose? We lost the green one. Jeez, we got so much of all kinds. Let's get another green, I guess. We can exile a non-land permanent of our own. To get us a little 3/2 red and white token. So Ranger class is all the way up now, which is nice if we find creatures on top of our library. Oh my god, I hate when they draw cards. They've just been drawing nothing but the... Right? Okay. You know, that seems perfectly fair. Right. Yeah. Only... Oh, sakes. They only get every single card they could possibly want, and I get nothing but screwed. Are you friggin' kidding me, game? Enough of this shit. This is 2 games in a row now. This game was good up until now, and just totally went to shit now. Just like that. Oh, it's just, like, every time they've played this card, they've just drawn absolute perfection. And of course, they're what? How many cards in their library? Okay, they're almost half. But they still seem... No, they've played at least 3 of those, I thought. The Deadly Disputes. This is still ridiculous. They made us discard that. It doesn't... Well, at least we do have a creature on her. Now we don't. That's huge. Can't block their spiders, though. They better stop getting everything they need all the time. they're probably going to get some kind of exile. You know, I was going to say, they probably have everything they need in their sideboard still. How many times did they access their sideboard? At least, well, just the once. But they hit it some other time too. Alright, wow. So we get to hit our sideboard a bit here. What do we want though? Well, that looks nice. We don't have enough mana this turn for it, but next turn we do. And we're getting another thing this turn, so that's going to be more cards. Let's grab that, play this. That sucks because that's the end of our creatures for the turn. Let's grab this. We can actually cast it. Do we want to attack with it though? Because our Shambling Gas will minus our... We should have thrown one counter on our Professor because they can still attack with their spiders. And then get around our guy. I guess we hold off this turn. Next turn we'll have lots of blockers left behind. As I say, unless they just get everything they need all the time. Jeez, it's like...
Out of my way.
How many of these expensive rares do they have? Like, doesn't that bog down your deck a bit? Like, I think 6 is like my maximum for like awesome planeswalkers and stuff that I do. That's like my maximum. Other than that, it bogs down my life. I have exactly enough to play both of these. Let's start with Ooze because it's on our library. And we got Fateful Absence coming up. We can put this here because they're going crazy with the blockers because they kind of need to. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, that's a lot. We only have 2 attackers. They're just going to chump block with something, one thing. They can't -1 kill anything at this point. Reef Ooze is a little on the weak side right now. Of course they gain life. They use their life gainer. Throw that down for sure. Get our blockers, our little field, and then here comes their next board wipe, right? Yep. That's literally everything. Bye. We have the mana to cast it. That's everything we have exiled except our enchantments. Finally get an untapped land at least. Have to go for Professor's second turn to make sure so that we get Envirosciences so that our third turn we're not missing our land drop. Then we can go Sparring Regime, maybe Luminarch depending on if our Professor's still alive. Really, really particularly sucks that we don't go first too on top of it all. Well, I'm just assuming that I'm not going to draw a third land before my third turn. Either way, getting the first learn, getting Envirosciences is usually pretty standard. Unless they Jwaris this. Okay. It's pretty good target to do it too. Okay, so they just fry it instead. I was shaking my head there because I'm like, was my assumption right? Was I right to assume that's bad if I was right to assume that I'm just not going to draw the third land? But we did. Jeez. What do we do though? They're going to fry pretty much anything we play. If we play this for a learn, what do we learn? Another Enviroscience maybe? I don't know if I like that idea. We could try a Luminarch and see if it sticks for a turn. And then maybe Ochre Jelly next turn. If we even get to cast it. Okay, so we cast it, yeah. And there's the fry. Right. And of course, it's just multiple copies of exactly what they want to have in their hand. This is ridiculous. How can I have so many games that are just very obviously stacked for my... Even I win some games, and it's like the whole game, I'm just like, how is it that they're getting everything perfect? Like, and I just managed to scrape off a win, and it's like, come on. Like, they just got everything perfectly. So now what? Good question. We play something. They've been playing the weakest burn spells ever, but as soon as we play something a little stronger like the Reef Ooze, they'll still have the 3 mana to fry it, or the 3 damage. Maybe we go this way and play a 3-3. Might as well go 3-3. So you have to do at least 2-2 or more. So it does get out to the field without a counter, which is nice. So if they do fry it, it'll at least come back as a 1-1. And they have to double fry it to fully get rid of it. Alright, that's not bad. I say we get another green here, unless they counter this. Nope, they let that go. So lots of white out there. So now the question is, do we go Sparring Regime? Do we attempt to get that down, or do we go with another Aspirant? I'm betting they probably have counters somewhere. Maybe we go with the Aspirant. If it sticks, we can Snakeskin Veil to protect. And it does stick. We'll throw the counter on Jelly. Let's see what they do. Okay, end the turn there then. We'll just hold the Snakeskin Veil. And I hit the auto pass during combat, so to try to make it look like we don't have anything that we can play. Well, they may have saw some stick during combat, and there's some stick there now that they picked up on. Probably. If they're paying attention. They have a lot of mana untapped. I don't like that. So we just attack in, I suppose? Why not? Continue putting counters on Jelly to try to get it as big as we can, so that way when and if it dies. Now I really wish I played this pre-combat to get a counter on something. Or even Reef Ooze would get a counter on something too. Let's play Reef Ooze, put a counter on itself. End turn, hold Snakeskin. They get 6 mana. What are they going to do? Take a million? Did they got nothing but Epiphanies in their hand or something? We played 2 Play with Fires. Ridiculously annoying Play with Fires. So now they're double striking something. Dual striking. Mana 4 or less this turn. Copy. Okay. And then what? They're going to copy like a Galvanic Iteration or something? No, they don't have enough mana to cast. They'd have a 2 mana to cast something after that. They're going to try to fry 2 things, I think. Play a burn spell and try to zap 2 of our creatures. This looks like they're going to be throwing a lot of mana down on something. So they're all tapped out -1. They're probably getting a treasure here. What did they choose? Draw and discard 2. Alright, resolve. This thing here. What's the first one targeting? Okay. Second one's targeting. 2 damage to face. Okay, good. So we do this to protect Aspirant, and then we take the 2 damage. They still have 3 mana up, which could mean a counter when we try to play our regime. We have enough mana to play both, though. Against the... Is it deck? Oh. After those last couple games, that was a nice win. I deserve that. Okay, we do have a white. I'm like, this again? This is at least the 3rd time in the past 6 games that I've played. Or however many. I don't know. Before I started recording, I think I did a couple bot matches with this deck just to... against Sparky, but I'm like, this is getting ridiculous. Opening hand with my only 2 Field of Ruins. Here's enough lands, but you still can't cast anything. Last couple times I saw it, I don't think I had the shelter. But with the color, the spells I have to go with it, it doesn't really help a whole lot. We're still waiting till third turn, and we're relying on Fateful Absence. Maybe? We go first. We got some powerful fourth turn stuff, if we can manage to get a fourth mana, which we can with an Enviroscience from Sparring Regime. I'm sick of mulliganing all the time. At least I feel like. Well, I just... whatever, let's just see what we can do. Well, that's not worth a Fateful Absence, so it looks like we're doing nothing this turn because we happen to draw yet another non-white spell, not another mana to do anything. Of course, and they just get it all. At least they had a tap land that time. Really don't want to use a Fateful Absence on these little guys. That's ridiculous. That is still ridiculous. And next turn, we'll finally draw an awesome land that will pull it all together. A forest, a basic forest, that would be absolutely perfect. Or any of those newer dual lands that have green in it. Because once you have... how many more? I think it's 2 or more other lands. Okay, so we didn't. Well, I guess that's actually worse that we didn't draw it. It'd be really ridiculous if we did. Like, yeah, right, I set that all up just to have to force it into my hand or something. Or, well, no, we might want to shoot that down. Or another non-token creature you control dies. Yeah, let's wait till their turn, though. It is instant. No, let's just get rid of it now. I don't want to take the damage. Getting a little impatient. I want to do something before I kill these guys too, because then they get blood tokens for everyone I kill. On their own, though, they've done enough damage. 5 already. What is this guy? At the beginning of your end step, you gain like, okay, holy crap. We have had like the worst starting hand combined with their just awesome crap. I say we go Toski. We need to start recovering. This is a good blocker, and with as long as we can keep that Sparring Regime on the field, he will always be a blocker. And as long as we can keep Toski, I mean, he's indestructible, but there are ways to get rid of him. Minus effects, exile. Knowing my luck, they've got it, whatever it is they need. I hate that it takes them so long to play it, though. It's a Toski. If you have a way of getting rid of it, you're going to cast it. What do you... like, and it's literally pretty much all I have. You have a way of getting rid of it, you're going to do it. Oh, how does that guy transform? The sacrifice token transform, activate only as a sorcery, interesting instant. Gain life this turn, create a blood token. Only if you gain life this turn. Do we want to let this guy grow a bit? No, we'll take another damage. Toski, don't die. Now we need to try to get some red manas. We can destroy this land here, get us a red mana. We won't be able to play Helana this turn, but we can get that red mana. You know what? Yeah. Play Aspirant. Ooh, I was going to play Ranger class, but I think we hold off. Hold Snakeskin Veil. To protect, well, whatever we need to protect. And also Toski. If they do a minus effect and they target Toski, Snakeskin will protect it. If it's like a meat hook, then we're screwed. Well, screwed. At least they kill all their own stuff, though. Because Toski, if they meat hook, which they're screwed on mana, too. Not often I see that from my opponents. Getting screwed on mana. What does that do? 2 damage. Oh, you suck. I'd really like to keep it around. It's going to get exiled, though. No, we want to keep it. Aspirant's too good. We want to keep it. It kind of looked weird there, like I was going to target their slaughter specialist with Snakeskin. And they have another 1-mana spell to get around it, too. Well, at least they had to double spell. It didn't die, it got exiled. So both of those spells exile it instead of killing it. So now we're out of protection, but we can still play this, put and sink 4 mana into it. And attack with a nice big fat Toski. Attack with Toski first, maybe. Or do this. We can't level it up this turn, that's the thing. We get another little blocker. Well, let's just attack with Toski first. Man, Toski with Sparring Regime is such a good combo. Love it so much. I can really use more colored mana. These 2 Field of Ruin. Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, let's just go Wolf. And that's all we can do. Because we don't have colored mana. Or we have white, but we have nothing white in our hand. Stupid freaking. I wanted to say Field of Ruin, but it's not Field of Ruin. It's friggin' what's the thingy? Shuffler. I've seen that. Like both Field of Ruin so much. Does this give lifelink or anything? No. Let's go for the kill here. Okay, so we don't get the kill, but we force that out of their hand. Let's do this. You can choose any which one of these that we want. Let's take this one. I want to get another green. We have 2 white. I need to get another green out here. Or maybe we should go for red. We should probably go for red, actually. And they're all like, what? What is he doing now? Too bad I don't have a creature with summoning sickness that I can target, because when you put counters, I guess you can't read this because of me, but it's too hard with everything going on. Oh, we can read it over here now. Put a count on another, where X is a power. That creature gains haste until end of turn, but she can't put it on herself. Yeah, and everything else is like mana. So we're getting 2 counters. Let's go Wolf. Untap Toski. 2 decent sized hits in there. Very nice, very nice. No mana to cast anything right now, which sucks because we do have a Fateful Absence. You're really nice right now. Let's block the big 5-er over here. It'll get bigger. But that's 8 damage and we're at 9. That is not acceptable. Cannot do that. 3 damage is kind of not nice. They did find a 3rd land. That's bad for us, but they're starting to finally not get mana screwed. And you attack with exactly 2 creatures. You transmit. Interesting. I think if we get through... Yeah, if they don't have a blocker, we're good, so... Yeah, let's just... Oh, this doesn't really matter. Yeah, there. I was gonna say, we got this. Remove their blocker, do all this prep, just in case they have some kind of weird protection or dodge it somehow. Get right. finally, a starting hand I actually really like. Do I have pathways in here? I'm pretty sure I have 2, don't I? Wow, I so very rarely see. I can't remember the last time I saw one of them. Yeah, I have 2 of them in here. Definitely has to go on green. We got white here, so yeah. Mm-hmm. I like how our wolf kind of, because they don't want to lose their wolf to our wolf. Maybe they'll feel a little bold now because they have another one. That's still an awesome trade for me. I'm okay with that. I say we go this for the white. Let's play this down, put a counter on itself. So they have to play a 4-mana spell to pump this up, or some other spell that just puts counters on it. Or fucking perfection. Like, wow. I have a mono green deck too. Do you know how infrequently I see my Blizzard Brawls? But every single one, they're gonna have play 2 more of those before this game is over. Before they even, they're at 50 cards remaining and they've already seen one. They're not gonna make it to 40 and they're gonna play at least 1, probably 2 more before their deck makes it down to 40. Like, pretty much guaranteed. So let's get rid of their shit so that they can't keep Blizzard Brawling with it. So that's just gonna drive me crazy. Of course, more perfection, just non-stop. And then we get screwed, non-stop. Okay, not really. We can actually do this for 4, which is nice. Simply because we can trade. But never mind, because they have another Blizzard Brawl. 100% get fuck off. Mono green. Every time I play against them, Blizzard Brawls exactly when they need that card. As many copies as they need. Like, I swear one game, one guy played 5 of them. I swear to God. Played 5 of them one game. Like, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Just have it all, no worries. Yeah, I need something to untap though. No blocks, or no attacks, we have to block. This is ridiculous. Unless they have another Blizzard Brawl. No? Actually, we have Veil this time. Haha. So let's block with these 2 and see how they order them. If they put App first, they don't. They don't care about killing App. We get a 2/2 back if we do this. And our Apparition doesn't die, which is what they were trying to do. Please tell me you're running out of your... Oh, that Blizzard Brawl, as you can tell, really ticked me off. It really ticked me off. Do this, get Enviro Science, play it, get another land. Yeah, we can do that. Play a land, still have mana up for this. Right? Yes. So what do we have to get white then if we let the auto tapper decide? And I'm okay with that. Ooh, you and your perfect Blizzard Brawls. Yeah! Yeah, and I so recorded that. Okay, so there were the games I decided to show you. I haven't done this in a while because I usually just forget, as well as I find Arena just hasn't always, or Assistant hasn't been recording my games all the time lately, and I don't know what's up with that. So anyways, here are all the games I played with this deck in ladder and gold. So I immediately deleted this one. I did record it, but I'm like, I never start my videos with a loss. I hate that. So we start with this one. I don't think I showed this. I don't think I'm gonna have this short one in there. This one was kind of, it frustrated me too. This is the one I think you hear me in the last game saying I forgot to record it, or maybe that's this game, which I'm not going to show that game either. This was me trying to re-record this game because I forgot to record it, and it was a good game. It still sucks. This one up here is the last one that I'll show you, but in the video. But this one was a much better game, and I'm really pissed I didn't record it. But overall, a 55% win rate. I was kind of hoping for a little better in gold, but you know, whatever. I think my luck hasn't really improved much in the game. It's not as bad as it was over the holidays. Like, I feel like the shuffle was just out to get me like crazy. But yeah, that being said, let's get rid of this. Get back to Arena here. Well, let me know what you think. Do you guys like my Selesnya deck better? The original version of this? It doesn't have a whole lot of new cards in it, but do you think it's better to the way I go to have the more simplistic lands and just ignore Helena and Alana? Or do you think it's worth it? They're so powerful. You know, you think it's worth it to have them in there? I'm really curious what you all think of that. I'm sure I'll put a link somewhere at the beginning of the video when I first mentioned the Selesnya deck. So go back and check that out. There'll probably be a link in the top corner where you can go check out that deck if you haven't seen it already. So that's pretty cool. And then you can compare that to this one and let me know the answers to all these questions I'm asking. What do you think? Would you change that? Do you think Helena and Land is worth it? I think they're worth it. I don't seem like I shouldn't have as many problems with the lands as I do. The main problems I have is originally, I think I do mention in the gameplay somewhere, I'm not sure, I can't remember now, but I had 2 mountains, but it was like I was literally drawing both those mountains way too much. So I dropped down to 1 because I'm like, how often am I getting them with Envirosciences? Like almost never. How often am I getting my mountains with any other way I have tutoring up lands, like Field of Ruin? I'm like almost never. I'm almost never going for those mountains. Having 1 in there so I can do that if I need to, I can tutor it up, is necessary to have that basic red source. But other than that, it was just getting really annoying, which is where the Fury Calm Snarl came from to replace it. Other than that, yeah, it's just the Field of Ruins now. Like, I get both of them all the time when I need my colored mana. Come on! It's just 2 of them. Like, ugh. Anyways. So I really shouldn't be having the land problem. Other than that, the Field of Ruin and what I used to have with the 2 mountains, it's all pretty smooth, I find, relatively. Like, yeah, sometimes we struggle a bit for white to cast our double white for Apparition, but I find that it's usually not too bad either, especially with the Sejiri Glaciers that we can play. It really helps get that extra white source out there. So again, yeah, let me know what you all think. Please make sure to comment. That is really helpful to the channel. I've been seeing a good amount of comments in some of my newer videos. Something's bugging my lip right there. Probably one of my hairs poking my lip or something from my whiskers. But I'm like, I feel something there. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, people have been commenting lately. Thank you all so much for doing that. I love talking about stuff too. I love hearing what you say about the decks and hearing your inputs and asking questions if you need to too. It's all great. It all supports the channel. And I just like it. It's cool. So please do that. Thumbs up, subscribe. I think I said that already. I'm not too sure, but there's another reminder. And I'll see you all at the next video. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Cheers.